Welcome to Timberland Farms. My name's Anthony. I'm here with George from Full Creek Farms. In the background it says barn. How far are you in on a barn?
2 years into the barn. Got the full structure up, got windows on it, and then we're just buttoning up a lot of small stuff.
So what are we working on today?
Well, today we are going to a friend's house. He wants me to cut some lumber for him. So we went and picked up 4 pine logs. There is like roughly a little over 500 board feet in them.
So George doesn't have quite a big enough truck at the time or a big enough trailer currently, so I hooked up my gooseneck trailer you guys saw in the previous video, loaded them up in the back. You guys probably saw some of that in the intro. We're going to dump these out and throw them on the sawmill and see what kind of lumber we get. I don't have a sawmill. I think they're kind of cool, so I figured I'll bring you guys along with us over at Full Creek Farms where we can get some of these sawed up. Almost forgot this door. So George is behind me. He's rolling up one of the logs that we just brought in. We're going to slap that on the sawmill and make some lumber out of it.
These are log saps. When we went to roll it, we forgot to put them in.
So we got 2 of them. One right there. Another guy right there. I figured before we fire up the sawmill and George went to go plug lights in, I show off some of his work. So right now he's working on the stall behind me, boarding up the sides and everything. He's going to go all the way up to the clear plastic behind me. But all this lumber you see that built this building, he milled himself. A lot of the logs came from his own property here, so it's very cool what he's done here. So not only does George have these nice boards to go on the stall, he also put in a post here to hang his door off of in between the actual structural post right here. So, but I think that's enough here. It's time for us to start milling some logs.
Things I do, because I'm still pretty new to sawmilling, even though It's pretty obvious I milled quite a bit. But I have this little chart on my phone. Anyway, I have this little chart on my phone that it gives you the diameter of the log and then what the cant size should be. So it gives you an idea on what square you're going to have to start with. So, for instance, you measure this inside a bark to inside a bark. We're going to go with 10 inches just to make it easy. If you look at the chart, you're looking at basically a 7 by 7 cant is what you're going to get it down to. So what a cant is it's the biggest square of the log. So obviously lumber is either rectangle or squares. Start straight up. Half choke, let it run for a second. And then choke all the way off, and she's ready to go pretty much. So I like to take as little off as the top as I can, just because there's always lumber in there that you can get. It's probably not the best lumber, but there's lumber that you can get. So even though we got to get to a 7 by 7, if you look between here where the blade is and here where the blade is, you can get a 2 by 4 out of that. So all this gauge is right here is just a measurement. You got your 1 inch and your 2 inches. I move it up and down depending on where I'm at. So I don't know if you saw, but I just moved it up a little bit. So I put it on the 1/2 inch mark. I'm going to cut 1 more 1.5 inches out, so that way I have another 2 by 4 if I need it.
Now we're going to start milling the log a little bit lower, so we're going to go ahead and lower these guys, these stops, so the saw don't end up hitting them. So now we can finally get down to our dimensional lumber once we got our cant sized and squared up. Well, I want to thank you for having me over, giving you a helping hand hauling those logs for you. These sticks of wood that you made look great. So what do we have here?
So what we got out of that little log, like I said, that little log was only 10 inches in diameter. We ended up with 4 2x4s and 2 2x8s. We squeaked out of it real.
Yeah, this is one of the logs we got out of what I think the first load we brought over. That we didn't get a whole lot filmed on the first load.
Right. That was the stuff that in trade for me to cut those 4 logs, he gave me that load that first. Anyway, we ended up with 4 2x4s and 2 2x8s, so it saves, if you really, want to make your own lumber or want to take lumber to somebody, this is what you can squeak out of a small piece of wood. I mean, thanks again for hauling those big logs for me.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah.
But it's been fun. I'm sure George has got to be very busy with the other 4 logs, so we're going to close out this video. If you like this video, please hit the like button. I hope I see you on the next video. We got to get our pigs out to pasture. Those 8 piglets that are in my barn are half mine and half George's, actually, so I'll probably be able to see some of those pigs on his channel in the future. Right now, they're just camping out and having a sleepover at my house.